going on, guys? Dylan here. Today we will be going over a ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol TSLA. We'll be doing a price prediction using technical analysis. This won't have anything to do with news. Now that's to the side, let's get straight to the video. So we were right, guys. Last time we were talking about Tesla, we were mentioning how just due to the spot we're in, we're likely to kind of hang around this zone from the top of this range, this resistance to this support. This is the rough range. We're hanging up and consolidating, pressing up against this old resistance that was key, which we finally claimed as support. So we're kind of jam-packed tight in the zone, but we'll break this down from all time frames. We're going to start off on the weekly, get a bird's eye perspective. Looking at the weekly time frame, guys, these lows have continued to hold up very strong in this area. Something that is key that, yes, we are in a weekly range with these resistance points at the top and these lows at the bottom. We're hanging out in this rough range. Well, it's a very similar equation of what happened when we look back in July, August, September, October. In this general area, we were kind of hanging out in a very similar range for quite some time. And eventually we pressed up against the top. This resistance right here, if we show all drawings, you see we held up to this point for 1-2 weeks after coming close to this rough area, and then we had a breakout. On the weekly time frame, we do see that this level, we jump back to the daily for just a minute. This key level, guys, we ran right into here at multiple touch points. Couldn't quite hold over this level. Whenever we got to it, we immediately stopped right back below it. Holding this level on the daily time frame and now the weekly, it does look good because we're starting to see some wicks hold the prior resistance level at a pretty big spot. So as far as from a weekly point of view, that looks good. A little bit of higher low trend to be had, because if you think about it, we pretty much had this high to this low, or 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But now we're really starting to set something higher. So this could be a potential beginning of a higher low on a bigger analysis. Now, if we crush below this level, we can't hold it and it's just a fake out. That's another story, but still, it's still progress moving up in the grand scheme of things because we haven't been able to set another higher low in quite some time. So you could see these higher lows being set, moving up, right? Beginning of a new trend. So from a weekly point of view, it's nice to see stock hold strong at this key support level, which was a past resistance. And it looks good, guys. We're still in this weekly zone when we jump back to the daily time frame, in this general rectangle structure, but it does look good and we're squeezing out at that point, and it's starting to show on the weekly. So that's what we're seeing on the weekly, the strong support. We've been holding up, and it is possible we get the upward price action of this nice bullish engulfing, which has yet to fruition any fruits of its labors, any action. So it looks good that we're consolidating at that point. You could play devil's advocate and argue, it's weakness, but honestly, guys, I think at these major levels, when you see stock hanging up at the top of a range it's formed, it's always a bullish thing over a bearish, as it's starting to show a trend shift opportunity. So with that being said, let's go jump over to the daily time frame. So looking back on the daily time frame, there's a little bit of a flag forming, which does look nice, a nice tight structure, which always provides some good opportunity for traders. A lot of traders like these sort of setups, as this prior level, which is major, which we just talked about, right? This key level, we had a big drop holding at this level, crush right through, fell, bounced, came all the way up, pump faked over the level for a day, attempted to hold it for 2-3 days before collapsing, coming right back up, testing it, false breakout again, just barely over that level, opens up the next day right below it, rejects perfectly at that point, and then we come down back to the zone, bounce right back up into this resistance level, and then at that point, we once again open below. Whenever stock has a daily close over, there's no follow through to support that. So to now see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles on the daily time frame, pretty much bouncing off this level, it looks nice. Yes, we still do have these highs, which will continue to be resistance, which we've mentioned them at the last major level, 295. After 295, we got 324.40 for the next level, but it looks very good. because we're holding at this major level. So it is a potential higher low to be set on the daily time frame. We'll take a deeper look at this pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it, this nice descending pattern squeezing out into this support zone. But as of now, guys, it definitely looks pretty promising on the daily time frame and on the weekly. You know, we are at a major level. You don't want to forget that. If we do crush 270, and you know, then we'll be looking to move lower, and we'll see what happens. But this is a major level of not only we're forming some resistance moving down in this descending fashion into the support. When you look all the way back on the daily and you scroll up, this was a former resistance level, guys, from this pennant structure at the top of this run up, and it's coming all the way back down right into the zone. So pretty textbook. There's a lot of pressure moving down, and there's a lot of support at the bottom. So something's got to break, guys, within the next few days. I think the structure looks clean, and considering where it's at, I would expect a pretty solid yield from either side, whether it goes up or down. So I think keep an eye on Tesla here, guys. You got to keep an eye on these lows, right? These 270 area, and then the highs. Really, once we should break out of this bull flag about 280, and then at that point we do have some, like we mentioned, support at 295. But let's go jump over to the hourly to get more perspective. So on the hourly time frame, we do see in the last 10, 20 hours of candles, they've just been very, very bunched up in this support. If you followed the last video, we did mention that if we did, I said keep an eye on the support level. We need to get in there and hold it strong. And we weren't able to do that. You know, we had a couple hours of just fake out. We topped out, rounded out right at the top, and then we flushed right back down to this level. And this level has been really one to watch over the last few weeks, and it's continued to hold. So to see this many candles pressed up, squeezed in this zone, it looks nice from an hourly perspective. We want to keep an eye on that, like we mentioned, 280 level for a clean breakthrough for the pennant, which you could argue, you know, right when we break over that 278 we're game. But you want to always move it up a little bit, guys, as you'd rather be a little bit late to the party than go, you know, than be charting up a fake breakout, right? So right now on the hourly time frame, it's a nice wedge, man. You know, we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 formations here, this descending resistance. If we drag that up, looked like it was going to be an exciting party, but we sunk right back beneath it, which further validated this level as we actually have a touch point coming down. We tested that zone. So this is still very valid bull flag on the hourly time frame, and it's one of those sneaky ones. 278, 280. These are the two levels for this nice structure to break out. And you got to mind it, guys. These tight candles pressing up in this support zone, even that alone usually gives you some follow through. So I like that the pattern is coming down at this point. If the pattern doesn't play out very well, keep an eye on 271, guys. At that point, we would be looking to move down to probably 260. And we'll cover that if it happened. And keep an eye on 295 to that 290 zone. That's some rough area of resistance. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, all that. Hope you have a good day.